Welcome to Semaji Learning. Thank you for joining this video. This is an overview about the trends in mobile medical apps today and in the next 5 years. Digital health is a fast-growing space and will shape medical technology innovation of the future. Digital technology in healthcare is not something new. Advancements in technology and computing are apparent in medical devices and patient care systems of today. Digital technology has provided more reliable data sources to support health monitoring systems, increased data intelligence and accessibility, and enhanced the comprehensive delivery of quality care. But, in recent times, with the introduction of the smartphone and their apps, we find ourselves facing a new digital revolution. People suddenly find themselves being able to generate their own health data. They are able to make decisions about and manage their own health conditions. This could be good or bad. Good because potentially you get first-hand knowledge about your state of health and well-being, and have more control over your own health information. But bad because making the wrong decisions or not consulting a physician properly could be a health hazard. The liberation of health data and the consumerization of healthcare is a fairly recent phenomena. But the concept of apps and standalone software working on mobile devices has existed since the 1990s. This includes apps for medical purposes. An example is the Rhythmstat XL, which was approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or the U.S. FDA, in 1997. What the Rhythmstat XL does is to record the electrocardiogram, or ECG waveforms, which gets transmitted onto a palm-top computer to monitor a cardiac event. This technology was meant to be used only in healthcare facilities and by healthcare professionals. Today, in the era of the Internet of Things, there is even greater interest for the miniaturization of complex medical devices and making them available for use by the average person. So if we fast forward to 2015, this is a LiveCore, a mobile ECG device that runs on a smartphone app. It comprises of a heart monitor sensor that reads the ECG waveforms on the Alive ECG app. It works by attaching the sensor onto the mobile device and used with an app that is downloaded onto the smartphone. Place 2 or more fingers on the metal sensor pads, or place the pads directly on your chest. The heart rate recordings can be viewed on the Alive ECG app. Recordings can be emailed or printed, to be shared or analyzed by your physician. Just for your information, this is how a conventional electrocardiogram equipment looks. What a LiveCore has done is to leverage on high-performing chip technology to miniaturize medical devices. Smartphones have enabled advancements in chip technology, storage, displays and microprocessors at a much lower cost and at much smaller sizes. For medical devices, this not only means miniaturization and improved usability, but also the simplification of complex technology that is safe and easy to use by the average person, yet able to deliver the same level of functionality. The LiveCore ECG app and sensor is just one example of such medical technology, which will be made available to both physicians and consumers or patients. For the average person, it provides an immediately available diagnostic tool to detect health problems and lets a person take medical action early. For hospitals, small-sized medical devices potentially mean lower cost, reduced space utilization, and greater mobility and faster response in delivering patient care. How is a LiveCore doing today? A LiveCore was founded by Dr. David Albert, a physician, entrepreneur, and scientist, and comes under the investment portfolio of Khosla Ventures. The company raised a total of $13.5 million by 2012 and received FDA approval to market the ECG sensor and app in 2014. so that is still pretty recent. Their revenue model is based on selling the hardware, priced at US $74.99, but the app itself is free. The digital healthcare market is not getting any smaller. Here are some top mentions for 2014 and 2015. Skin Vision is a melanoma app that helps you to check skin spots and track moles for quicker melanoma detection. Melanoma is a type of skin cancer. The risk of contracting melanoma increases with more exposure to ultraviolet radiation. Skin Vision allows you to take photos of skin moles to track changes that are symptomatic of skin cancer. Cellscope offers a smartphone-enabled otoscope. An otoscope is a lighting and magnifying instrument that allows the visual examination of the ear canal and tympanic membrane. Images are viewed and captured on the smartphone app. Wearable health technology is being developed to detect tremors in Parkinson's disease. It serves as a tool that aids neurologists to diagnose tremors in Parkinson's patients, for example in identifying the degree of movement disorder in such patients. The objective is to enable early treatment and to determine proper medication doses for patients. Some work has been done by Uppsala University in Sweden and the Michael J. Fox Foundation. These are some useful reference articles on tremor detection that can be accessed on the web. You may get this information by downloading these slides on our website. The MobiSamta smartphone ultrasound consists of a probe and a smartphone app. It is capable of performing ultrasound diagnostics for trauma detection, routine screening, musculoskeletal injuries, abdominal and pelvic pain, uterus monitoring, and many more. These products sit within a global health app market worth US $2.4 billion in 2013, and that is projected to grow to US $26 billion by the end of 2017. By the first quarter of 2014, there were 100,000 health apps. This chart shows that the largest app category today is the fitness category, which makes up about 30% of all apps listed under the Health, Fitness and Medical App section of Apple App Store, Google Play, BlackBerry App World and Windows Phone Store. Fitness apps are mostly in the form of fitness trackers or exercise guides. Coming second and third are medical reference and wellness apps. Medical references could provide anything from first aid guidance, information on dosing and treatment, medical dictionaries, illness and lifestyle management, trauma guidelines, eye tests to getting directions to the nearest local hospital or specialist. Wellness apps, on the other hand, comprise of guides, such as for yoga practice, relaxation and beauty tips. The next 5 years will, however, see a decline in interest for fitness applications. Fitness is expected to be superseded by remote monitoring and consultation apps. Future business trends will see a market shift demanding health apps that have a high positive impact on cost savings, increased patient adherence and reduction in hospital stay costs. The reason for this change may be attributed to a growth in demand for chronic illness self-management and remote consultation tools, especially for patients who are not ambulatory or lack mobility. Secondly, a market saturated with fitness apps would give rise to problems of discoverability and, as a consequence, leads to dwindling revenues in this category. So what health app should you create next? This chart may serve as a guideline. Out of the available health apps, 43,700 are medical apps in Apple App Store alone. 54% of these are genuine apps for healthcare. 69% are for consumers and patients, and 31% are for clinical use. Only 159 of these have the ability to track and capture data entered by the user. Fewer than 50 provide calculators or tools for users to measure their vital signs. The Apple iPhone has the biggest market share at 48.2% for health apps. This is followed by Apple iPad, Android, BlackBerry, Windows and Nokia Symbian. The 5 high-growth categories in digital health are telehealth and telemedicine, payer and hospital administration, health consumer engagement, digital therapies, personal health tools or tracking. In the following slides, I will be providing you with a brief description of each. Telehealth and telemedicine is the fastest growing digital health category in 2014, increasing by 315% with nearly $300 million in aggregate funding. In the United States, the two key reasons for the continued growth are licensure and reimbursement. Payer administration systems are aimed at improving transactional efficiencies, for example for billing and reimbursements. This is basically an electronic enterprise system that connects hospitals and clinics to reimbursement schemes. Hospital administration systems streamline clinical workflows in hospitals and clinics, ranging from clinical care to purely administrative type processes such as appointment systems. The market for electronic enterprise or health records systems is pretty matured, so funding in these areas tends to be not that high. Moreover, an ill-designed system could end up slowing processes down instead of improving quality of care. However, if the system is able to create inroads into big data and analytics, and incorporate robust security and data protection solutions, then there could be more funding interest here. Health consumer engagement systems help customers gain access to and make purchasing decisions on the different types of insurance health plans out there. This is especially important for large employers seeking to reduce health insurance costs in 2015. The focus is on consumer-directed health plans so that the individuals can make a decision on which health plans would be suitable for them, and to make up for any inadequacies in national and employment health plans. So these solutions essentially make looking for health insurance less of a nightmare for human resource departments. Connections Asia and Group Hub are two examples of companies offering this. Digital therapy software deliver clinical outcomes, for example through providing health advice, literature, plans and suggestions that help with health management, especially essential for chronically ill individuals. About 75% of healthcare costs are tied to chronic diseases, for example diabetes and heart disease. The good news is that these diseases are preventable through lifestyle modifications. So, software that can assist with lifestyle management or behavior modification is expected to be highly sought. Personal health tracking tools are wellness tools that track exercise and fitness, diet and sleep for example. There are already numerous types of these tools such as MyFitnessPal, Runkeeper, Endomondo and other diet planning apps, such as HealthBytes. There is also TapGenes, which is able to propose your disease susceptibility based on family history. There are still opportunities in this area, but it is decreasing. Any active investments would target unmet needs that existing digital health tracking is unable to tap into, for example, creating an all-essential app with aggregated tools. Therefore, there may still be potential for continued growth in this area. For anyone entering into the healthcare business, there is one important point to note. Healthcare is one of the most regulated industries in the world. Most countries require the approval of healthcare products before these products can be marketed in these countries. Products that require regulatory approval before they can be marketed are normally considered as carrying a certain risk of harm to patients. Medical products can end up causing more injuries if associated treatment hazards are not identified and eliminated. Health products regulations require businesses to provide evidence that any risk associated with healthcare products have been reduced or eliminated. These are the jurisdictions which have been the primary influencers in shaping healthcare product regulations in the world. U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the European Union Directives for Medical Devices and Medicines, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency of the United Kingdom, Health Canada, and the Therapeutic Goods Administration in Australia. Medical device regulatory framework in many countries around the world use any one of these 5 frameworks as a benchmark to control medical devices in their own local markets. Where health apps or standalone software are concerned, the question is whether medical mobile apps are regulated as healthcare products. Depending on the intended use and inherent risks of the software application, digital health solutions may in fact be considered, defined and regulated as a medical device. So whether a healthcare app should be regulated as a medical device depends on whether it comes under the definition of a medical device. The definition of a medical device can be broken down into 2 segments. Firstly, what format does a medical device come in? Secondly, how does a medical device function? To answer the first question, what format does a medical device come in? A medical device is any instrument, apparatus, implement, machine, appliance, implant, in vitro reagent, calibrator, software or material. To answer the second question, how does a medical device function? A medical device is used for diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment, disease alleviation, injury compensation, replacement, modification, support of anatomy or physiology, sustaining life, control of conception, disinfection of medical devices, providing information for medical purposes or in vitro examination. Most importantly, all these actions are not achieved through pharmacological, immunological or metabolic means. However, at times it is not so clear-cut whether medical apps really fit into this definition. Many apps are on the borderline of whether they are regulated medical devices or not. In this case, we should also look at the level of risk a patient would be exposed to if the app should fail to function during use. This slide provides examples of health mobile apps or standalone software that may fall within the definition of a medical device. The vertical axis represents the function of the app, and the horizontal axis represents the intended use. As the app intended use moves to the right along the horizontal axis, its intended purpose or function increasingly conforms to the definition of a regulated medical device, in which case, it would likely be subjected to medical device controls. Although there is clarity on regulating medical technology and software accessories, there is a lack of clarity of controls on apps or standalone software that sit on the borderline. As a result, there is a lack of awareness on medical device controls for mobile health technology. Data from mHealth showed that of those surveyed, only 27% claimed that the regulatory framework is sufficiently comprehensive. 26% disagreed with this and 47% do not know. On the upside, the lack of quality clinical studies or specific requirements or clear regulatory framework has not really been barriers to growth in digital health apps. This is surprising considering that there is now increasing demand for clinical studies for medical apps. The perceived unimportance of regulations could be due to some indifference now shown to the existence of this regulatory framework. On the other hand, developers have also been clever in creating apps that avoid regulatory framework or use platforms or templates that have passed regulatory scrutiny. Ultimately, the impact of mobile medical apps on healthcare is tremendous. In the next 5 years, About 99.4% of healthcare apps will have a more direct impact on healthcare, primarily in areas to improve patient outcome, improve prevention and education, reduce or slow down increments in healthcare costs, and improve interaction between doctors and patients. Thank you for attending this lecture. To download the lecture materials, please click on the link provided on the lecture page. For more information about other lectures, courses and information resources, please visit our website at cenergy.com.